Have you ever wondered what it'd be like to play a game that took all the epic mech battles from Titanfall, the staggering PvP wars of Battlefield, and the massive open world of Destiny all incorporated into one AAA tier game set in the dystopian future? Well, I got you. After playing through so many NFT games over the last couple years, such as Illuvium, Gods Unchained, and recently Off the Grid Private Beta, I decided to go back on a project I covered about a year ago to see how it's been doing, especially since they just recently made their game available to the public by officially launching their Season 1. Hey everyone, Caveman here. Today we're going to be talking about Metalcore. This is a MMO combat action shooter that incorporates a whole bunch of elements and features from other games, making it a boiling pot of an experience where you're going either on foot, in mech, on air. You're fighting against, 50 plus other players. It is pure chaos, but it's quite an experience, and the graphics do look quite good. After 3 successful closed beta phases, Metalcore has now opened it up to everyone to join in on the hype. And this was developed by Studio 369, a team of experienced game developers that have worked on previous titles such as The Walking Dead, Star Trek series, and even other popular shooter games like Gears of War 3 and Fortnite. Now, Metalcore is a game where you engage in epic mech combat, loot and manage valuable resources, and partake in massive faction wars, all mixed in with the latest blockchain technology, giving you real ownership over your in-game assets. Is it worth it? Well, with its action-packed gameplay mechanics, a rich and deep lore paired with the piercing graphics, hey, if you're in Web3, you know that some of these games are good and others are really bad. Metalcore is definitely a project I would say you should keep an eye on. Everything from the land, the garages you use, the exclusive gear like mechs and the other in-game currencies are all NFTs, all owned by you. And it's all on the blockchain. Now, we do have to look at how the game's been since it's launched last week. First off, you need to download the game via Epic Games. Once you have it downloaded, you need to set up your account via the main menu, or you can do it on the game's website. I would suggest the former since you're right there. Log in the game and press play. You'll first have to choose a faction amongst the 3, mainly called the Gear Breakers, a group of technologically advanced humans, the Holy Corporation, a ruthless corporate religion that dominates through fear and control, and the Metal Punks, a resistance group that started the rebellion on Kerberos, the planet where Metalcore is set in. Once you join a faction, you're going to gain bonuses for each win against one of the others, and you're also going to gain a unique or passive bonus, also based on the faction. Now, after that, you're going to go through the game's intro, where it serves as the game's tutorial for basic movement, standard gun control, as well as mech combat. Then you're going to spawn in your chosen faction's central hub, kind of like the headquarters for your team. Now, there's no difference between each faction's hub. They're all the same other than the color motifs on the wall and a few other aesthetic changes such as banners and vehicle colors, but for the most part, it is the same. Here is where you're going to find your stash. Now, if you don't know, and you probably should before you start running around Metalcore's huge open world map, you're going to routinely find valuable loot and resources all around the map, be it in random chests, quest rewards, or other loot dropped by players that you dropped. Now, if you pick up these items, it'll then be stored in your inventory. But if you somehow die after this, you're going to drop all your items from your inventory, and you're going to have to go back out there and retrieve it before someone else does. And, you could lose all that valuable loot. To combat this, you can place all of that scavenged, gear, rewards into a central hub stash, where all the stashed items won't get lost when you die on the map. Up next is the Fabricator, or as the name suggests, you can craft items such as mechs, aircraft, infantry units, and even consumables like health and shield kits from blueprints that you've acquired resources from across the map or other players. Do note that some of these blueprints need you to hit a certain level cap in order for you to make them, such as the Zephy mech or the Goal aircraft. Take note that in order to unlock a recipe, besides getting the blueprints as rewards, you can also acquire them by destroying enemy vehicles and scanning them, which then unlocks that recipe or blueprint for that specific vehicle. Those are the two shops, outposts, or whatever you call them here on the central hub. There are 2 other quarters that have a mech and an aircraft that says under maintenance. Maybe that's a future update where those 2 spots will be utilized. There's also a small computer towards the center of the hub where you can change your allegiance towards the other 2 factions. So yeah, you can change your sides here basically. You know, if you want to get an advantage or if you want more challenge, you can play around with which faction you want to be with. This is also a good time to familiarize yourself with the game's interface. At the top right, you have a dynamic minimap. On the lower right, you're going to find your weapons info, such as ammo, type, and name. You can also use the scroll to change your primary weapon to your secondary weapon. On the other side, here on the lower left, are your vitals such as your health, shield, and power levels, aka your stamina. Now, I do find it weird that sprinting doesn't consume stamina like in other games, but when you have a mech chasing you, you want to be able to run for your life. Now, you can also see how much power you regenerate per second in that same window. You can also see what soldier you're using here. Now, on the lower portion of the screen is where you're going to find your hotkeys. Now, you can change these bindings into something else that fits you more comfortably. Unfortunately, it wasn't allowing me to switch my hotkeys when I first started playing, but this is something that should be updated fairly soon. The default ones are C for your melee attack, Q for your utility, a grenade that has a cooldown timer after each use, T is your handy flashlight, F will summon your hover bike, which is super cool. You should be using this all the time when you can. It's used for outdoors to quickly traverse the area, but it does have a little bit of a cooldown timer. Make sure you don't get hit. V is for consumables, and then the keys 1 through 3 are reserved for power, tech, and special abilities. Now, another thing you can find in the hub, which you'll be constantly using, is this large holo map of the planet. You can use this to move around bases and outposts around the map. You can also see that you can only go to one location, the North Valley, when you first start, but you'll soon unlock the others once you progress through the game and rank up. Now, once you choose a location, in this instance the North Valley, you're going to get transported into that outpost owned by your faction. Now, these outposts contain the same functions of the central hub, but they have 3 added options. Mainly the infantry repair dock, where you can heal up your unit, the barracks, where you can change classes, and then the contracts hub in the middle of the room, where you can check your daily quest as well as accept local quests to complete. You can also find teleporters on the side, which will warp you to their respective hangars. Now, if you head to any of the exits here, you're going to be greeted by the planet of Kerberos, and it is amazing. The map is so huge, yet it doesn't look bare and empty. You'll see a couple of settlements and cities over the horizon here and there, and I just gotta say, I think the graphics in this game are certainly on par with some top AAA games. Now, moving on to another integral part of the gameplay is the in-game currencies. In Metalcore, you're going to be using 3 of them: credits, shards, and Hyperions. Credits are used to purchase common items such as consumables, to repair and upgrade your units, and to craft valuable gear. Credits can be acquired as rewards by completing missions or by purchasing them in the store by using your shards. Now, as I've mentioned earlier, you not only use shards to purchase credits from the store, you can also use them to level up your account and increase your Baron level and speed up repairs. Shards are acquired from premium missions, but can also be bought using real money or the MCG tokens. Speaking of the MCG tokens, you can actually use them to purchase Hyperions, which are mainly used to turn your units into NFTs and increase their rarity. Alternatively, you can salvage Hyperion by burning existed unwanted NFTs. It's no question that Metalcore has not only got better since I last played over a year ago with its official launch, but it's just brought a ton of improvements to the game. Though there are still some problems that I've been reading up on and some that I've experienced myself, such as the key bindings mentioned earlier. Another issue that's been happening is a prologue loop. Every time you try to start playing, it logs in, but then you have to keep going through this loop and you just can't get into the main game. So there are still some improvements to be made there, and maybe they're already done by the time this video is going out, but what it is from what it was a year ago, it's a solid improvement, and I can't wait to see what they have in store for Metalcore in the coming months. I am going to start live streaming when possible, and this is definitely a live streamable game in my opinion. Super fun combat, and if we can get multiple people playing together, I think it could be a blast. If you're playing Metalcore right now, please let me know in the comments below, and if you think that there's a better shooter than this, also let me know. I mean, obviously I played Off the Grid recently as well. I think there are some games. Web3 is getting better. Like I think that we have some fear that, all the crypto games are kind of launching and they're not having huge reception, but these are fun games. We will have one that can break through the stigma of NFT gaming, and we're gonna make a difference. So anyways, that's all I've got for today. If you like this video, smash the like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys next time at Caveman logging off.